11 most bizarre things found in humans. Number 11. Giant hairball. Surgeons in India removed a 5-foot-long hairball from a teenager in India in 2015. Kavita Kumari, who was 15 at the time, had a bad habit of eating and swallowing her own hair. Not only just her own hair, but also random hairs lying around. This obsession, also known as Rapunzel syndrome, she would reportedly pluck her classmates' hair as well and eat it. This strange practice caught up to her, and she complained about serious intestinal pain, refusing to eat. When her stomach began to protrude larger than the normal size, she saw a doctor, and this photo here shows what they pulled out of her. Since hair is made of a protein called keratin, it's not able to be digested, therefore clumping together when eaten. Her parents were extremely thankful when her life was saved from removing this giant hairball. Number 10. Lung fork. A man named John Manley, who had a chronic cough that lasted over 2 years, couldn't quite figure out what the problem was. He would begin coughing so much that his face would turn blue. He visited several hospitals, and each one couldn't give him a definitive answer. A lung doctor at Duke University decided to stick a tiny camera in his lung and see what on earth is going on in there. What they found was shocking. Apparently, a piece of a plastic Wendy's fork was trapped inside of him and was somehow inhaled while eating there. The plastic tip sported a Wendy's logo about the size of the tip of your thumb. Another example how fast food can be unhealthy for you. If you're hungry enough to eat your fork, keep in mind you may have some problems later on. Number 9. 30 magnets. Kids are dumb enough to eat magnets probably because they look like chocolate. Just because they're on the fridge doesn't mean it should be eaten. An 8-year-old girl complained from severe stomach pain when it turned out later on that an X-ray had showed 30 magnets. You'd figure after one, she realized that it didn't taste like candy and would stop eating them. The magnets pose many problems due to the fact that they will move around and try to clump together. They also can't be passed naturally when too many are connected. This can cause some serious blockage. The father was shocked and claimed the little girl was a great student. Keep an eye on your kids better. Number 8. Brain worm. What comes to mind when you have a serious headache, brain tumor, stressful job, kids who eat magnets? Well, now you can have brain worms on your mind, literally. Rosemary Alvarez went to see a doctor because she believed she had a brain tumor. The doctor had some serious good news and some bad news for her. He did a thorough exam and found a frightening parasite inside her head. A tapeworm somehow made it to her brain, most likely due to unsanitary cooking conditions. Although tapeworms normally prefer to live in your intestines, there have been a few stories of them living in your brain as well. If that doesn't frighten you enough, they can also lay 50,000 eggs per day. Try thinking about that before you go to sleep. Number 7. Ear moth. Did your parents ever tell you to clean your ears but you didn't listen? Well, this is what's gonna happen. A 12-year-old boy from Colorado had a moth that was completely lodged into his ear canal. How it got there seems to be a freak accident. What are the odds of a moth accidentally flying into your ear? The boy initially panicked uncontrollably, like any of us probably would in this situation. He even banged his head against the wall in desperation. The mother tried to shake it out, but nothing worked. He eventually had to go to the emergency room, where the pesky critter was removed with a trusty pair of tweezers. The moth, still alive, proceeded to fly around the ER. The family decided to take the moth home as a creepy reminder, as you see in this photo. Number 6. A live grenade. An American soldier riding in a Humvee convoy were patrolling the eastern part of Afghanistan when an ambush took place. Rocket-propelled grenades strike the Humvee of Lt. Billy Mariani, and he notices he's been struck by something. It was definitely not a bullet. A live grenade was sticking out of him that was full of fuel that could have been detonated at any moment. Medics realized that trying to save his life could put the others in serious danger. Patients like this are not technically supposed to be flown out or into a medical center in order to minimize casualties. The grenade was disabled by veteran explosive experts and saved his life in the process. Number 5. Calcified fetus. A woman in Colombia was stunned when she found out the true source of her internal pain. An 82-year-old woman was carrying a fetus for at least 40 years. When doctors discovered it was dubbed the stone baby. The stone was created, as you see in this x-ray, in a similar fashion to the way our body fends off unwanted germs through the immune process. The calcification of tissue is common in people when a foreign object is detected. In this case, the baby was targeted as a foreign object, and the immune system did what it thought it was supposed to. It covered the baby in layers of calcium. This rare condition only affects 1 in 10,000 pregnancies. However, modern medicine is much quicker to detect something like this. Number 4. A cutlery set. A 33-year-old woman was admitted to an emergency room with a severe stomach pain, and for a good reason. In this x-ray, you can see what either looks like an entire pineapple or some type of squid that's been living inside her stomach. You can use your imagination, but the truth is she swallowed an entire set of forks and spoons, equaling 78 utensils total. Why she would do this? No one knows. Medical professionals claim that she was suffering from a disorder called pica. This eating disorder can occur during pregnancy where women crave to eat non-food-like materials, sort of like paper or dirt, and in this case, an entire set of silverware. Even after the surgery to remove these objects, this woman was still found swallowing dangerous objects and was admitted to a psychiatric ward, rightfully. Number 3. Diamonds. A dynamic duo of a Chinese woman and her lover decided that they would go a different route when it came to diamond smuggling. However, not everything went as planned. They attended the 56th annual Bangkok Gems and Stones Jewelry Fair in Thailand. They successfully snatched $280,000 worth of diamonds. The partners in crime then planned on catching the next plane out of town. The woman ran into airport security, and she panicked that her loot would be discovered. Not knowing what to do, she swallowed the precious stones. When they would not pass through her system naturally, she decided to see a surgeon, with a lot of explaining to do. Needless to say, women these days do have expensive taste. Number 2. Your twin brother. When people started joking this guy looked like he was pregnant, they weren't completely wrong. This guy here, Moth from India, found out he had a parasitic twin living inside of him. He claims he felt so self-conscious his entire life about the size of his stomach. He went for a surgery because he believed he had a stomach tumor, but doctors unveiled a mutated body. The twin growing inside his stomach is due to a rare condition called fetus in fetu. This allows his twin to attach itself to his brother and simply live off his nutrients from the circulatory system, like a parasite. The other brother didn't survive the surgery, and when removed, featured long nails and masses of hair and bones. Luckily, Moth did survive. Number 1. Surgical tools. News reports claim that at least 800 people have had surgical instruments left inside them between 2005 and 2013, making this one of the most common yet bizarre foreign objects found in humans. 16 of those incidences resulted in death. According to New York Times, a nurse from Kentucky became seriously ill after a CAT scan. They found a surgical sponge that had been left inside of her abdomen during a hysterectomy 4 years earlier. The woman had claimed that it actually adhered to the abdominal cavity as well as the bladder and the walls of her stomach. With all these mishaps, you better believe someone's getting sued. The average settlement for something like this is around $166,000 after legal fees. Any suggestions on future videos you'd like to see? Leave a message in the comments section with your idea, and maybe we'll feature it in the next video.